Welcome Dhamma friends to today's Sutta discussion class. Let's begin with usual chanting. Today we shorten chanting into only to Pali version because we have enough practice on the English recitation. The purpose of English recitation is to know the meaning of the Pali chanting. So today we follow only the Pali version of chanting. Let's begin with sadhu, sadhu 3 times, then follow the script. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Buddhang saranang gacchami. Dhammang saranang gacchami. Sanghang saranang gacchami. Dutiyampi buddhang saranang gacchami. Dutiyampi dhammang saranang gacchami. Dutiyampi sanghang saranang gacchami. Tatiyampi buddhang saranang gacchami. Tatiyampi dhammang saranang gacchami. Tatiyampi sanghang saranang gacchami. Tisarana gamanang sampunnang. Panatipata veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami. Panatipata veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami. Adinnādāna veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami. Kāmesu miccācārā veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami. Musāvādā veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami. Suramēraya majjapamā dattānā veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami. Tisaranena saddhiṃ pañcasīlaṃ dhammang samādayittvā. Sadukang surakkitaṃ kattvā appamādena sampādetabbang. Sīlena sugatiṃ yanti sīlena bhoga sampada. Sīlena nibbutiṃ yanti tasmā sīlaṃ visodhaye. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Let's recite Namo Tassa again to respect the Buddha, Dhamma and Sangha. Namo Tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Itipiso bhagavā arahang samma sambuddho. Vidyācarana sampanno sugato lokavidu. Anuttaro purisa dhamma sārati. Sattha deva manussanang buddho bhagavati. Swakato bhagavata dhammo samdittiko akaliko ehi passiko opanayiko pacchattam veditabbo viñño supatipanno bhagavato savaka sangho ujupatipanno bhagavato savaka sangho Nyaya patipanno bhagavato savaka sangho Samici patipanno bhagavato savaka sangho Yadidam chattari purisa yugani atta purisa puggala Esa bhagavato savaka sangho Ahuneyo pahuneyo dakhineyo anjali karaniyo Anuttarang punyaketang lokassati Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Dear Dhamma friends, I would like to welcome you to Sutta study class once again. It's happy to see you today with beautiful faces. I think it's because we talk about loving kindness today. And by saying that, I don't say that you came with you didn't come with beautiful faces the other days. You had such a wonderful smile at all. But today I feel that energy in me and also on your faces better than the other days. Today we are going to start discussion with a particular very special discourse that is one of the discourses that Buddhists all over have been memorized and have been memorizing and reciting and using for many purposes. That is Karaniya Metta Sutta, as you know, the discourse on loving kindness. As you can see on the screen, the sutta we discussed today is Karaniya Metta Sutta. The first thing I would like to mention that the sutta is named in the discourses. In the text is not Karaniya Metta Sutta. It's called Metta Sutta. The both places where we find this discourse in the Tripitaka is named as Metta Sutta. That's the original way the sutta is named because of its utility as well as the content of the discourse. This name Karaniya has been there in the Pirivana Pottuhansa in Sinhala, the book prepared for recitation, and the sutta itself, as you know, has this word Karaniya Matta Kusalena, but we don't have that name in the title of the discourse, especially in the Tripitaka, the place where this discourse is recorded. The discourse on loving kindness. Yes.
What does Karaniya mean?
Karaniya means has to be done. You know, what has to be done on the name of loving kindness is mentioned in this discourse. That's why it's Karaniya Metta Sutta. So it talks about loving kindness, and it has to be practiced by every means. That's what it really means. So, before we go to details of the discourse, we plan to do, some other things which are related to the discourse. The Sutta explain the very important Dhamma facts to be developed to gain peace and happiness, namely cultivating loving kindness. Before we go to that end, it is beneficial for us to understand the background of the discourse with some additional information. Therefore, friends, I would like to discuss this particular discourse for 2 weeks. So last 2 weeks we spent to discuss Kakachupama Sutta, the simile of the soul. It mainly brings the message of loving kindness from a different angle. It was based on a particular monk's behavior, and this sutta, Karaniya Metta Sutta, is based on also some incidents happened to a group of monks. So I do not tell the story right now. I leave it for next week. But I mention this because both suttas we take to consideration on loving kindness have the same background stories. Therefore, we have been discussing the concept of loving kindness for 4 weeks. We have been discussing loving kindness based on Kakachupama Sutta for 2 weeks, and this is the 3rd week. We discuss the same fact but based on a different discourse. Let me tell you where this discourse is recorded in the Tripitaka. That's very important. Just like a lawyer, right, who goes to the constitution or the code of law and order in a particular case to show the law and order, we also should know where these discourses are recorded. That gives us additional support, especially when we tell it to some people. This discourse is recorded there. I don't know whether you can remember all the discourses and their places, but at least you hear it. So that's the way we monks teach people. Let me bring your attention to that. I made this last week for the last sutta. So you can see the location of Karaniya Metta Sutta in the Tripitaka. Tripitaka is there, Vinaya Pitaka, Sutta Pitaka, and Abhidhamma Pitaka. This particular discourse belongs to the 5th of the Sutta Pitaka, miscellaneous. We call it Khuddaka Nikaya. Khuddaka Nikaya consists of 15 books. You can see these 15 books: Khuddaka Pata, Dhammapada, Udana, Itiuttaka, Sutta Nipata, and so on. So, Karaniya Metta Sutta is recorded in 2 places. It is recorded in Khuddaka Pata, and also Sutta Nipata has 5 categories, and in the first one, Uruvela Vagga, we have the same sutta, Karaniya Metta Sutta. What are the other 2 suttas which are familiar to many Buddhists? Ratana Sutta, the discourse on 3 triple gem, and what is the other one? Mangala Sutta, yes. So Mangala Sutta and Ratana Sutta are placed in these places in the Tripitaka. So Karaniya Metta Sutta or Metta Sutta is recorded in 2 places.
8 and 9 are the same.
Teri. Stories from monks and stories from bhikkhunis, nuns. Tera is the Pali word for bhikkhus and Teri is the Pali word for bhikkhunis.
Where is Tera?
8 and 9.
8 and 9.
Oh.
Okay, now you know where this discourse is originally coming from. Where do you find this discourse in a normal usage? It's in Piruvana Potwahanse, the special book made by monks maybe couple of 100 years ago for protection. We call Piri-chanting is a way of protection, receiving protection from the Buddha, Dhamma and Sangha. So monks codified this book, taking some special wonderful discourses into one book for the sake of chanting and giving blessings. So these 3 suttas are recorded there. That's how many people know. But this is originally recorded in these 2 places. Okay, now I would like you to see the Karaniya Metta Sutta or Metta Sutta here. Now as I said, let's chant this sutta, because you may find that a lot of people, including monks and nuns, recite this particular discourse for peace and happiness. When Buddhists observe principles, they would like to recite this because they are very familiar with the discourse recitation. And even if they go to a ceremony, if they have time, they recite it. And when people are sick, they recite it themselves. So it is very important for all of us to know at least this discourse. How many discourses are there in the Tripitaka? Approximately. A lot of discourses. One day I actually show you the number of discourses. It's more than 30,000. No, of course, less than 30,000. So remembering one discourse is really important from the Pali version, in the Pali version. So let's recite this sutta together to bring our mind to early days. We memorized and recited it. If you do not practice it, you can start from this recitation. Okay, so the friends who join with us online also can recite it, and you are most welcome with questions or anything you want to share with us. If I have a chance, I would definitely look at the questions and try to answer them while we continue our discussion. Okay, let's begin recitation of Karaniya Metta Sutta. You can look at the screen and be mindful about each words, lines and stanzas. If you know the meaning, just keep that meaning in your mind and try to enjoy it. Karaniya matta kusalena yantang santang padang abhisamicca sakko ujuca sujuca suvaco cassa mudu anatimani santussa koca subaroca appakiccoca salla buka buddhi santindriyoca nipakoca appagabbo kulesu ananugiddo naca kuddang samacare kinci yena vinyo pare upavadeyum sukino va kemino hontu sabbe satta bhavantu sukitatta ye keci bana bhutatte tasava tavarava anavasesa digava ye mahantava majjimarasa kanukatula dittava yeva addit Yeta dure vasanti avidure Bhutava sambhave siva Sabbe satta bhavantu sukhita Naparo parang nikubbeta Nati manyeta katta chinang kanchi Vyarosana patiga sanya Nanya manyasa dukkha micceya Mata yata niyang puttang Ayusa eka putta manurakke Evang pi sabba bhutesu Mana sangbhavaye aparimanang Mettanca sabba lokasming Mana sangbhavaye aparimanang Uddhang adoca tiriyang ca Asangbhadang averang asapattang Tittang charang nisinnova Sayanova yavatassa vigata middo Etang sating aditteya Brahma metang viharang idam Dittinca anupagamma silava Dasanena sampanno Kamesu vinaya gedang Nahi jatu gabba seyang punareti. Okay, that's the way we chant the Karaniya Metta Sutta in many cases. But there are other ways of chanting. If you listen to the chanting done by Thai people, Burmese people, or Tibetan, the pronunciations would be definitely different from this. One day, actually, I went to India on pilgrimage and was meditating near Buddha Gaya, the place where the Buddha was born. And you can hear many versions of chanting on Ratana Sutta, Karaniya Metta Sutta, which is very good to observe how people, recite. So be mindful about the way of chanting. Whenever you know the real recitation of the discourse, you can go with any style of chanting. So the first thing you need to do is to memorize it and be familiar with the Pali words. Then you can follow it. I encourage you to recite this discourse in English as well, because that's very good, because some people take only the English translation for chanting because it's more familiar. Let's recite the English chanting also, English version of the Karaniya Metta Sutta. You can see that in the screen. I'm sorry, the letters are so small for some people. You can look at the paper if you have it. I'm also looking at the screen because I cannot see the screen on the computer. It's too small. Okay, let's begin. This is what should be done by one who is skilled in goodness and who knows the path of peace. Let them be able and upright, straightforward and gentle in speech, humble and not conceited, contented and easily satisfied, unburdened with duties and frugal in their ways, peaceful and calm and wise and skillful, not proud or demanding in nature. Let them not to do the slightest thing that the wise would later reprove, wishing in gladness and in safety. May all beings be at ease. Whatever living beings there may be, whether they are weak or strong,
omitting none,
the great or the mighty, medium, short or small, the seen and the unseen, those living near and far away, those born and to be born, may all beings be at ease. Let not
receive
another or despise any being in any state. Let none through anger or ill will wish harm upon another, even as a mother protects with her only her life, her
only child,
so with a boundless heart should one cherish all living beings, radiating kindness over the entire world, spreading upwards to the skies and down to the depths, upward and unbounded, free
from hatred and ill will,
whether standing or walking, seated or lying down, free from drowsiness, one should sustain this recollection. This is said to be the sublime abiding by
not holding to fixed views,
the pure-hearted one, having clarity of vision, being freed from all sense desires, he is not born again into this world. That's the chanting of Karaniya Metta Sutta in English. It may be slightly difficult for us because we are more familiar with the Pali version, but it makes sense. So we can understand the meaning of the Karaniya Metta Sutta from this translation. This is done by Bhikkhu Tanisaro. So now we know the discourse on loving kindness, Karaniya Metta Sutta, with a simple meaning. Let's go to see some examples of loving kindness, because we talk about loving kindness in this discourse. You can see you have seen so many examples in your daily life. You have seen many incidents that particularly shows this concept of loving kindness. But do we understand the concept of loving kindness from a deepest sense, as the Buddha said? Have we developed it to be able to use it in daily life? What is loving kindness? Exactly as the Buddha said. So these are the questions we should have in order to understand loving kindness as perceptions that could be developed in daily life, and also as a meditation we can develop in our practice. So these are some of the pictures that I show you to understand what loving kindness is. It's a beautiful picture to show what loving kindness is. I found this picture in the Google images, and a mother from India or Pakistan or Bangladesh, maybe one of these countries, gives milk to a child. At the same time,
dear.
yeah, she is so kind to give milk to a young, deer. So under that picture, it is said that just like a mother who risks her own life to protect her only child, even so towards all living beings, one should cultivate a boundless heart with loving kindness. When you have loving kindness, that kind of energy exists in your mind. You can give anything you have without expectation. Friends, it's very difficult to explain enough some emotion, some mental state by language. When you say I love you, do you feel that you have explained it enough? No, you use your whole body to show it. Maybe giving a hug, maybe taking children to your hands and embracing them. So the language is not enough. In my terminology, it is a poor, very poor tool to express our feelings, our perceptions. But these pictures, when you see them, invites you to understand your insight with loving kindness. So this is from Africa. Elephant trainer or elephant protector is sleeping with a small elephant because the small one is sick and cannot sleep with the mother. And once introduction says that this small elephant was abandoned by the herd of elephants, so this person took him to the salvation and take care of him, and when the elephant is sick, he is sleeping with. So giving your time and energy for somebody else is coming from loving kindness, the thought of loving kindness. When we talk about loving kindness, what exactly come to your mind? I'm asking a questions. When you hear the word metta or loving kindness, what exactly come to your mind? I remember a group of people meditate on loving kindness. Or I remember a group of people who listen to the discourse of loving kindness when somebody is chanting it. So we can have different perception with this discourse. From the Buddha's teaching, we can understand that loving kindness has been explained by the Buddha for different purposes. One of them is as a meditation. Buddha prescribed loving kindness as a meditation. If you remember the Anapanasati discourse that we discussed few weeks ago, we name 44 subjects of meditation in that discourse. One of them is Metta Bhavana, meditation on loving kindness. Therefore, we need to understand that metta is a form of meditation. It means that through meditation we develop loving kindness while we keep it in our mind all the time, cultivating or making opportunities to develop it. We have it all the time. So now we are going to talk about meditation on loving kindness, and also why meditation is. So we have been talking this fact very much, but I think we should go on that over and over again, because that brings us different knowledges on the same fact. So why meditation is, we should have some answers. People say that meditation is for peace and happiness. Meditation is for attaining Nibbana. Meditation is for overcoming negative emotion. Then some people say that when we meditate we can sleep well, we can organize our life well. So there may be many answers. Buddha has given a kind of definitions to meditation, combining with the nature of mind. You can see that on the screen. He says once, I don't envision a single thing that, when undeveloped and unapparent, leads to such great harm as the mind. The mind, when developed and unapparent, leads to great harm. It means that meditation is happen with our mind, or it is a mental cultivation. Meditation is a form of practice that we take to develop our mind. So when the mind is not cultivated with the form of meditation, it becomes wild and give a lot of harmful experiences to the person and to the whole society. So Buddha said that mind is the forerunner for everything and is the creator of everything in the Dhammapada. So at the same time he says that there are two sides of our mind, which is positive and negative. When the mind is not developed with loving kindness, in this case, can be harmful to oneself and others. So the meditation on loving kindness is therefore very important. I don't envision a single thing that when developed and apparent leads to such great benefit as the mind. The mind, when developed and apparent, leads to great benefit. This is recorded in Anguttara Nikaya. So Buddha's teaching is all about mind, and his main intention is to make people understood their mind and how it functions. At the same time, he taught the Dhamma to cultivate it, qualities such as loving kindness. So two types of meditation are prescribed by the Buddha. What are the two types of meditation? Anapana can be belong to both categories of meditation.
Concentration and mindfulness.
You are very close, but not in the right answer yet. You know the answer, but maybe breathing is a subject of meditation. What are the two types of meditation? Let me put another word, then you will get it. There are two main stream of meditations that the Buddha prescribed. From one we get concentration, from the other insight. So what are the two names for this? Samatha and Vipassana. Concentration meditation and insight meditation. Development of serenity, tranquility is called Samatha meditation or concentration meditation. So from this meditation we expect one particular aspect of our mind. That's serenity, calmness, peace, happiness, joy, concentration, samadhi. That's why it's called serenity or tranquility meditation or samatha meditation. Those subject of meditation you mentioned come under this category. Anapanasati, of course, Anapanasati, all these meditation subject has both sides, but some meditation like the recollection of the great qualities of the Buddha, recollection of the Dhamma qualities, loving kindness could be more on this category. So the other way of meditation is Vipassana meditation or insight meditation. In that you take the same subject of meditation, not from mundane sense but from very profound way, I would say absolute way, and train your mind to cut off greed, hatred and delusion. From samatha meditation what you do is cut off the defilement temporarily. It means you suppress 5 hindrances temporarily and attain peace, serenity, concentration and so on. It's just like keeping a rubber ball under the water. As soon as you release it, it comes up to the water. You take the meditation subject and concentrate it well and gain one-pointedness or calmness. But your defilement or the defilement that associate your mind may underlie in your mind. As soon as an object of craving appears through your senses, that serenity immediately vanishes and you become a normal, typical a person who deal with greed, hatred and delusion. But with the subject of the way of vipassana meditation, you see that this thought came into being because of these reasons, and by putting an end to those reasons, you end that defilement or the reasons, so you totally do away with that. In other words, you see the impermanence of the very subject of meditation and the mind, body and everything, and you completely go away from attachment. So finally you destroy the root causes of suffering, namely greed, hatred and delusion. So two types of meditation have specific tasks to do. So the one who wish to attain enlightenment should have experience of both type of meditation. Sometimes people start from insight meditation because of familiarity, because of character type, because of temperament they have. Some people start from serenity meditation. It doesn't matter which one you take. The good thing, the only thing happen is the perfect technique you should go with, or you should understand the way it goes. Okay, why do I take this? Because loving kindness is a form of meditation that gives us serenity as well as insight. As you have been practicing loving kindness meditation, have you experienced both, or at least one? Because usually people have been practicing loving kindness meditation, as the commentary says, may I be well, may I be happy, may I be peaceful. Then may my parents, my brothers and sisters, my husband, wife, friends, relatives. Then you look at the other people, other living beings. That's how we have been practicing loving kindness as a form of meditation. What happened to us with that type of meditation so far? As soon as we finish meditation, we become irritated. And I have seen people that they have a lot of problems than the people who do not meditate. Because that method of meditation has not been working well for many people. Why? Why do you think it's not working well? If it is working for you, it's okay. I don't blame the technique. Technique also has some shortcomings, but it is not appropriate for many people, because we start saying I, be well, happy and peaceful. Then you take that concept mistakenly. Which concept? I. So you take I should be peaceful, I should be happy, I should be this and that. Then you develop greed instead of non-greed with the loving kindness meditation. Those who have wisdom about it, they can meditate it well, but a lot of people cultivate attachment with that. That's why they cannot overcome the ill will, anger, by practicing meditation. No matter how long they practice meditation, they are still getting angry with very, very minor reasons. So loving kindness as a form of meditation, of course, cultivate both aspects of meditation, serenity and insight. So at least you can get one and go with. If this the form of practice is working, I'm saying it's okay. But when we practice meditation on loving kindness, exactly as the Buddha said in the discourse, we cultivate both serenity and insight. You love this picture. Some of you have seen this before, because I took it for many slides, many concepts. So when you cultivate loving kindness, your body and mind become so calm and serene. No matter which meditation you take, you should have this experience. If it is not coming, there is something wrong in the way of your practice. Okay, let's define the meditation on loving kindness or the word metta. What do you think? How do you define metta or loving kindness? I know you know the answers, but you are hesitating to tell it.
So,
What is loving kindness for you?
without attachment, metta, unconditional love.
Unconditional love. So what about the love you have for other people then? You say, I love you.
That's attachment.
That's attachment. You say that's attachment. Okay, metta, loving kindness. These are the words we usually use. Loving kindness, friendliness, goodwill, benevolence, fellowship, amity, concord, inoffensiveness, and non-violence. Whenever you find any of these words, the content of these words or any words is what the Buddha taught in the name of loving kindness. When you have metta or loving kindness in you, the only thing happen is giving your time and energy for somebody else's happiness. When you talk, when you act, that's of course based on your intention of loving kindness. So metta only gives and never wants anything in return. So when you have metta, you do not have desires and do not expect anything. That's the purest form of loving kindness. Metta is a protective and a silent attitude of a mother who forbears difficulties of a child. Fathers could get angry with this statement, but fathers also have the same kindness, compassion to children. But this is the example Buddha take to show the loving kindness. I say that this example or the simile is only to show a part of loving kindness, but it is not the 100% loving kindness, because a good mother could not be able to love and extend same kindness to somebody else's son and daughter because of attachment. But this is the best relationship we have in this mundane world to show what loving kindness is. That's why we take this example. Metta is a pragmatic necessity today to cool down heated hearts of humans. Of course, this is very practical. Mindfulness, wisdom are too deep for many people, but loving kindness is more understandable by many human beings. So this can be used as a tool to make people friendly. I remember once one of our presidents went to Japan. As I remember, it was during the time of Cold War, just after the Second World War, and delivered a speech about loving kindness. Everybody is trying to sanction Japan and punish, I would say, Japan. And then the president of Sri Lanka recited a verse from the Dhammapada, Nahi verena verani sammanti de kudachanam averena cha sammanti esadammo sanantano, which means hatred could not be end by hatred. Hatred could be ended by love, loving kindness, and everybody listened to it. So metta is so nice and pragmatic, and many people listen to it because that's the very and profound mental state that many living beings can come together. So if your heart is too hot, I mean emotionally, think about loving kindness. Think about your own practice on loving kindness. It could happen to you as well. Metta is fundamental to each religion. Yes, everybody talks about love, loving kindness. Though Buddha's teaching on loving kindness is deeper than anything according to our experience, everybody talks about it. Okay, that's the definition of loving kindness, and I would bring more. Now I would like to know, I would like you to understand the difference between two words we use in daily life. Loving kindness, love and loving kindness same or different? What do you think? Different. Sometimes we can use both words for one thing. It's up to people. When we say love to somebody who is coming from traditional background, particularly Sri Lanka, you mean something else, right? Because the content with the word love has some other meanings, romantic love, and love between husband and wife, or something like that come into play when we use this particular word with some group of people, with some society. But we can use it for the very content of loving kindness. But love, the feeling of affection with conditions. He said that loving kindness is unconditional, but love is conditional. Because when you love somebody, you expect it in return, right? How about if your husband or wife do not do the same thing for you? Are you irritated or are you peaceful? Depends on, right? If you do not react negatively, you of course have loving kindness, because loving kindness is unconditional. No matter what the other says, you are unchanged, undisturbed. Your sense of goodwill is okay. Is radiating to the other person. But if you have love, you expect the same words, same reactions, and if there is no such same reaction, there will be fighting, breaking away, and so many things can happen. So we need to understand these two words, because you people who come to studying Buddhist teaching philosophically in your own practice will surely understand the difference between love and loving kindness. But a lot of people think that love is the same as loving kindness. No. Buddha talk about loving kindness, not the love that many people have in their day-to-day life. If there is loving kindness in between relationships, in between among people, they do not create anger, ill will, frustration, and disharmony within and among people, because loving kindness is unconditional. Do not expect anything in return. Any questions? Now we want to understand the enemies of Metta. Some time ago I used this same teaching to a group of people, but this is very new to some people, therefore I take it again. Loving kindness is one Brahma Vihara, as you know, one of the four sublime states. When we take the four sublime states, of course we take it in the discussion, we talk about enemies of the four sublime states. of course, we can find enemies of each peaceful state. It means the negative or the opposite state of all positive states. We have the negative or the opposite state of mind for loving kindness as well. What is that? Hatred. That's right. The two enemies. We have two enemies. The one enemy of metta is hatred, ill will, anger, any related feelings to anger, ill will, hatred. This is the enemy that is of course living not close by. We can recognize this enemy of loving kindness, but the other enemy is not recognized easily. Near enemy of metta is attachment. So the anger, hatred, ill will call far enemy because when it comes you can recognize it. If you are mindful, you know what this feeling is. If you may take it into consideration, you can do away with, because it's the total opposite of loving kindness. But the far near enemy, which is living close by, is not discernible. Let's take an example. If one of your friends who disguise as a good friend make you how do I say, make you upset by doing something, but you don't know that he's or she is doing. This is a friend disguised as a good friend but not a real friend. Can you recognize that person is an enemy for you? No, because he is living with you or she is living with you, and no need to pay too much attention to what he or she does, because he is a friend, she is a friend. But the reality of this person is making you unhappy by doing so many things, making you upset over so many things. Perhaps he or she tells about your bad qualities to others openly. When he or she lives with you, he may tell good words about you, he may support you, but when you are not there with him or her, he or she will be doing bad things. So it's very difficult to recognize this person as an enemy. Similarly, attachment can play a role of loving kindness. Unless we are mindful about attachment, we can think that it is loving kindness. This is the place where people mistakenly understand that love is loving kindness, affection is loving kindness, because the people we see are so beautiful, and they are singing songs that we like very much, and they are acting exactly we like, and their way of speaking, their way of living are attractive to us, so we love them. What happened to us in these examples, situations? We attach to their colors, we attach to their sounds and appearance, so we can give our life to them. Some people say that I can die for this person. That is not loving kindness. If there is loving kindness, you do not have any of these things. You may realize that this person is a human being which is made by his own good karma, and he has this and that, and no attachment, no fraction of attachment is there, but you have unconditional compassion to this particular person. So understand near enemy is the most dangerous negative fact for loving kindness. Because of this attachment, people mistakenly think that they cultivate loving kindness, but they are getting angry. They cannot live with people. They cannot bear up so many things that should be accepted. So now we know two enemies of metta: near enemy and far enemy. Far enemy is hatred, ill will, anger. Near enemy is attachment, greed.
Are you talking only about the greed? The attachment. Now if I'm attached to my husband, it is good or bad?
Oh, that's a good question. Greed is there when you attach to somebody or something.
Yeah.
That because of the seed of greed.
Yeah.
Because attachment is the byproduct of greed. Attachment is there because of the seed of greed in our mind. Because greed, hatred and ignorance, in Pali, lobha, dvesa, moha, are the root causes of all unwholesome states. So attachment is a state of mind which we have when we engage with those objects of desire. For example, you like a person and admire his words and actions, and you likes his or her background, and anything he or she does is okay for you. That may be because of loving kindness also, but you are irritated when somebody is coming and say something against it, like in Kakachubama Sutta. Molliya Pagguna was so upset when other monks talk about tell not to go to Bhikkhuni Monastery, and those Bhikkhunis were so upset to hear that Molliya Pagguna, the monk who was disobedient to Buddha, were told not to have this and that, and when other monks criticized him, these Bhikkhunis were so upset. So that's how attachment is coming into play. As a husband, as a wife, you should attach to your husband and wife into certain extent, otherwise you cannot have a marriage life. But it doesn't mean that you cannot develop loving kindness and live a peaceful life. The marriage life with attachment can have some fractions, problems, fighting, but marriage life with loving kindness or the understand would be so peaceful.
But that would still mean that there is a hindrance to attaining
Of
Nibbana
course,
because
that's
of
very
this
true.
attachment.
Thank you very much for reminding that attaining Nibbana is the supreme goal, and if you go to that, you need to understand the attachment between husband and wife, and it become a hindrance.
So we can develop loving kindness under samatha, but not under vipassana.
Either one. If you develop loving kindness as a vipassana meditation, of course Buddha did that, then you take the very person you think of as a person, of course, but made by four elements, made by different senses, and it's a form which FORM form, and it has the subject of impermanence. The person you attach or person you consider is a creation of four elements. Again, it has the subject of impermanence, therefore this person deserves to loving kindness from me. That's how you take the practice of loving kindness in the name of vipassana. Why metta meditation is important? Because metta is the basis for happiness here and now, even after death. It is said in the discourses that those who practice metta meditation is happy right now, and even after death they reborn in happy places, pure abodes. Those who practice loving kindness throughout their life and die and reborn in divine worlds, and they are they are different from other deities. They always talk to people nicely, not people of course, deities nicely, and they are specific deities. So there are some stories. So metta is a form of happiness that gives us satisfaction right now, even after death. Metta is a powerful method of protection. I told you this before, that metta meditation or the recitation of metta is taken as a protection. Karaniya Metta Sutta is chanted even right now in this world. We don't know. No other discourses chanted like Karaniya Metta Sutta. It is chanted by all Buddhists. If you consider that there are 2 billion Buddhists live in the world, I am pretty sure that 90% of them chanted this discourse at least once. No other discourses, even Ratana Sutta, even Karaniya Mangala Sutta, cannot come to that level of reputation, because this very discourse or the concept of love, loving kindness, is so important to people, is so close to us. So metta therefore is a powerful method of protection. Protection from what? We can discuss that. Protection from evil thoughts, protection from both enemies, protection from even animals, dangerous animals. Metta is the direct antidote for unwholesome, destructive states such as we discuss, hatred, ill will, jealousy, anger, cruelty. And metta is one perfection which bodhisattva cultivate. How many perfection or the paramitas are there in Theravada Buddhism? Do you know what paramitas?
Quality.
Of course, they are qualities. Who practice paramitas? Buddha does not want to practice anything. He has done his duties. Bodhisattva. Who is the Bodhisattva? Yeah, the one who wished to become the self-enlightened Buddha is called Bodhisattva. Are we not Bodhisattvas? Yes? So you want to become a Buddha?
I want to get enlightened. That's enough for me.
That's enough for you, right? Okay, of course we are Bodhisattvas in one sense. Bodhisattva concept is elaborated in a different ways in Theravada and Mahayana, Tantrayana and so on. Simply, Bodhisattva concept is mainly used for the one who wishes to become the self-enlightened Buddha, but it can be used also for those who practice Dhamma to attain enlightenment. They are called Shravaka Buddha, the disciple Buddhas. The Buddhas who get support from the self-enlightened Buddha. So paramitas therefore are being practiced by all of us. We need to practice paramitas. How many paramitas we have in Theravada teaching? I hate numbers, right? always a set of teachings with different numbers, and how can people remember?
Are those Metta, Karuna, Mudita? Are those
There are 4 sublime states, Brahma Vihara. There are 10 paramitas in Theravada Buddhism. In Mahayana there are only 6. So I don't know whether you go to Mahayana now, because there are only 6. So some people would like to avoid traditions where there are so many numbers, so many practices. But Theravada teaching on paramitas are very distinct and very good, and could be understandable by any person, because that's the way the tradition transformed the deep teaching into simplest form. Metta makes sure relax mind at the death moment. That's very important. I come to the results of Metta meditation, and then you see how the dying people, if they practice Metta as a form of meditation, experience relaxation. So if you want to die with the peace of mind, practice Metta meditation every day, because it creates a momentum for you to bring your attention to beauty of Metta, and you can connect this life to the other. I remember a story from Dhammapada commentary that how a person be happy at the death moment. This particular person is called Dhammika Upasaka. He had been practicing generosity and other form of spiritual qualities throughout his life, with children and family members and so on. He came to the death moment and asked children to invite venerable monks at the monastery to come and recite Pirit. We don't know which Pirit they recited, but during the Pirit chanting, this person said, "Stop. Stop." That's what he said. Then the venerable monks thought that Dhammika Upasaka, though he was so righteous and kind person, is now confused about the fear of dying. So they stopped chanting and went back to the monastery. Children started crying, saying that our father is confused. Unfortunately, he is going to reborn in unhappy places, and so on. Then Dhammika Upasaka said, "Why did monks went back? Why did monks go back, and why did they stop chanting?" Then children said that you said to stop chanting, and monks stopped it and went back to the monastery. Then Dhammika Upasaka said that I didn't tell monks to stop chanting. I said stop for divine beings who are waiting for me to take to their divine world. From each divine world, a beautiful chariot have come to take him into their divine world because of his generosity, charity, and moral principles. Of course, loving kindness as well. So the divine beings are requested to stop until he finished listening to the chanting. That's why he said stop. Then children did not believe it, because nobody can see divine chariot. Then Dhammika Upasaka was so mindful and said that, okay, take that garland and throw it into the sky. One child did that. Then the garland hung on the space. Then Dhammika Upasaka said that you cannot see that divine chariot, but it hung on to one of the divine vehicle. It is a story, of course. I don't know whether this happened truly, but it's recorded in Dhammapada commentary and elsewhere in the Tripitaka. So that's make sure that this particular meditation clears our mind, not only in day-to-day life but at the last moment of our life. If you feel that there is an insecurity in your mind, especially when you think about the death, practice loving kindness meditation along with the mindfulness on death. You will be safe. So Metta gives 11 results when it is practiced in its fullest form. Now we go to see those 11 results. Some of you know them very well, but it's worth to discuss again. There are 11 results of Metta meditation. Do you practice Metta meditation and experience these results? Is the question for you. And do you think that this practice of Metta is done only 1 week or 2 weeks or 1 month and have all these results? No, don't think that they are coming to you immediately. Throughout your practice, you may experience these one after the other, and it should be done throughout your life. Long-term practice on loving kindness brings you these results. Let's see these beautiful things on loving kindness meditation. The first result, one sleep in comfort.
Yes.
So now you know the king size bed, queen size bed, very comfortable mattress cannot give you a good sleep. Even a person who sleep under a tree can have loving kindness and have a better sleep than a person who lives in a mansion on a beautiful, very expensive bed. So one sleep in comfort is the best result and a very good result for us. If you have any, how do you say, bad sleeping, practice loving kindness before, not expecting good sleep. If you expect good sleep, so you won't practice loving kindness perfectly, because you tie it to something negative. Isn't that nice? Smiley face even while sleeping. Okay, the second result is one awakes in comfort. If you can sleep in comfort with pleasantness, you of course wake up with comfort, good feeling. This is very practical. How many of us wake up with pleasant feelings? It's a question. Yeah, it's a lot of people wake up with so many disturbing thoughts in mind. Okay, so you can sleep well and wake up well if loving kindness is practiced enough. Then one sees no evil dreams. Wow, isn't that nice? Some people wake up in the middle of sleep because of bad dreams, and they are to believe all these mental images or mental state pop up in their mind. Of course, dreams is one of the topics that we should discuss one day, because some people say that dreams are mere dreams. But in my understanding, dreams are not anything else but some thoughts, some feelings we had in this life or before this life, because they are mental states.
Yeah.
So one sees no evil dream, and one is dear to human beings. So one who practices loving kindness is of course friendly to other human beings. Not only human beings, they are dear to non-human beings. Even invisible living beings do not harm you. They support you because of that energy called loving kindness in you. Devas, gods protect you. Of course, those who practice loving kindness are supported by divine being, because that's the channel you communicate with the divine beings. Divine state is a result of goodwill and other spiritual qualities. When you practice and take your mindset into loving kindness state, you make a bridge from human existence to divine state, so they support you, visibly or invisibly. Fire, poisons, sword cannot touch him or her. I took the direct translation. For today's society, you may not be harmed by any poisons, any weapons, any dangerous incident, even bombing. But there is no guarantee. There is no 100% guarantee, because any evil person can kill even an arahant who practice loving kindness into highest extent. That is there. So how can you give a 100% assurance that you are totally unharmed by somebody else, something else, when you practice loving kindness? It can happen, but it may be a result of loving kindness meditation. 8. One's mind can concentrate quickly. This is very practical. Those who practice loving kindness as a habit can sit on the cushion and concentrate immediately. Mm-hmm. You are not struggling with typical emotions that you have during the day. Even if you have disturbing thoughts, disturbing experiences, because of the loving kindness practice, you can bring your attention immediately to the meditation subject and achieve concentration. That guarantee is there. One's countenance is serene. Look at this monk. I don't know this particular monk, whether that pleasantness is coming as a result of loving kindness, but it's a sample that his complexion and whole body is a witness of pleasantness and goodwill and beauty of his life. So your complexion would be very serene with the practice of loving kindness. 10th, one dies without being confused in mind. That's what we talked a few minutes ago. You do not have any disturbing feeling, thought with at the dead moment if you practice loving kindness as a habit every day, because your mind has conditions with loving kindness throughout life, and it comes to your mind at the time of dying. The last one, if one fails to attain arahantship through the practice of loving kindness meditation, here and now, he or she will be reborn in the Brahma world. So there is a assurance of from the Buddha about loving kindness meditation that you can attain at least the 3rd level of enlightenment, minimum level. That's the minimum level. If that is not happening to you, you will reborn in Brahma world, where you experience utter bliss and happiness for many aeons. So these are the 11 results given as given to us to show how loving kindness meditation is so powerful. Okay, so that's the last thing I want to share with you today. I said that this discourse, though it is one of the shortest discourse, it has so many aspects to discuss, and therefore I will take next class to discuss the rest of the factors of loving kindness meditation. If we cannot finish it by next week, we'll take another week, because this is really important. Okay, friends, we have come to the end of the class. Thank you very much for listening carefully. I hope you enjoy the teachings on loving kindness. From practice loving kindness meditation every day, as we discussed. Do it tonight before you sleep. Okay, so wish you all the best for your practice on loving kindness. Until we meet next Thursday, may you have a wonderful and peaceful week. Those who join with us online also blessed with the power of loving kindness. If you have questions, please type in the place given in the website, and I try my best to answer these questions before next class. Have a wonderful weekend. May you be well, happy and peaceful. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.